Well, usually we are trying to do the impossible, making an interview with somebody who has nothing to say, at least it's what he says. Yet you and everybody I've met, and you've been all around the world, we feel that you have something to say. What's your opinion about this idea that you have something to say?
You want an answer?
Yes, of course.
A straight answer?
Yes.
The noise that the coffee maker is making out
Yes.
will be far more useful to you than what will come out of this so-called interview.
And why is that so?
Because you are trying to make something out of this, which is no different from the voice that is coming out of the tea maker boiling water, and you have a fancy tea stuff there called yogi tea, because you are not so satisfied with the tea that you are drinking, so you import something from India with that fancy name called yogi tea, and enjoy that you are really going to be a yogi through drinking this tannin, which is no different from any other kind of tannin that you are swallowing every day.
So we also more or less import everything from India and the East now, in order to find a meaning in life.
Yes.
And do you think that all this interest of people in these things will lead them somewhere, will lead me somewhere? If I go into techniques of meditation, what will I find there actually?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You will find that yourself in a very exhausted state of being, because meditation is nothing but a battle between two things. And what you experience there is the peace between the two wars. And if you say that it is the peace like any other peace that we are trying to create on this planet, you will discard meditation, yoga, and all that stuff that you are importing from outside, and that's the end of it. What you cannot get from your own culture, from your own religion, you are not going to get it from India. I am not here as an Indian to tell you something about the greatness of India, and so don't ask me any questions about meditation, about yoga. You have not done any meditation. Those who have done really the meditation will end up in the mental hospitals. And all those who talk about meditation, what good it has done to them, they are fooling themselves and fooling everybody.
They are fooling themselves.
And fooling everybody.
But
and I don't see any adequate reason why any intelligent man should fall for that kind of a thing and allow himself to be fooled by those who are fooling themselves. I would go one step further and say they are all con men. Maybe some of them are not conscious of the fact that they are conning themselves and conning others. But unless you con yourself totally, kid yourself totally, fool yourself totally, you cannot con others and cannot fool others. But it's up to you to see why you allow yourself to be fooled by those people.
No,
so there is some kind of a hope there. But if you fall for that kind of a thing and believe that something is happening to you, you are lost for good.
So somehow you have the feeling that things are happening if you are practicing meditation or do kinds of techniques, that there is something extra added to your life.
Now that is only a disturbance in the chemistry of your body. And for example, the pranayama that many people practice, breathing techniques. And it is simple exercise on your part, attempt on your part to cut the flow of oxygen into your brain. When once you do that, you have all kinds of fantasies and interpret them as some sort of spiritual experience. So that gives you the hope that one day you'll be able to have those experiences all the time.
Mm-hmm. But you yourself practice almost everything that is there.
I did everything, practiced everything in the book, and found that they were not leading me anywhere. And I also realized that I was creating all those experiences through the help of my thought.
What
they
was
were all thought-induced, thought-created experiences of my own. So, for example, the blissful state that people think that they are in are created by themselves. You see, they don't realize that through the help of their thought, they have created these experiences. The fact that they experience a particular sensation as a blissful state means that they know what it is. Unless you know, you cannot experience anything. What you do not know, you cannot experience at all. So all those experiences you experience, call them spiritual or any other kind, sensual experiences, are created by the knowledge that is passed on to us from generation to generation. And you give importance to your feelings. Feelings are also thought. If you are asked to believe that a particular kind of a feeling is something extraordinary, you should have only that kind of feelings and not the other kind of feelings. But basically, essentially and fundamentally, all experiences are the same. And as I said, you cannot experience unless you know what you are experiencing. And it is the knowledge that you have of those things which is acquired by you, or the knowledge that is passed on to us from others is the thing that gives you all those experiences. And they are worthless, however extraordinary they may be. You can put a label on them and call them spiritual experiences, that they are all in the nature of a sensual experience. Looking at the sunset, looking at the sunrise, looking at the beauty of flowers, looking at the beautiful woman's face, they are all sensual experiences. When I use the word sensual, I am not in any way using that word to say that they are all ridiculous, but you are not ready to put them all on the same level. Then, if you do that, you will be surprised that there is nothing to all these so-called spiritual experiences which you are experiencing as a result of this shoddy piece of information that is passed on to you from generation to generation. So there is nothing to meditation, there is nothing to yoga. If you are interested in setting up a holy business and teach some strange techniques of breathing, pranayama and yoga, that's fine, it's just like any other experience, but you don't want to put that kind of a business on the same level as any other kind of a business. And those who indulge in this kind of a holy business are those who are absolute unfits in this world. As I was saying the other day to some of my friends, the world is full of criminals. The humanity can be divided, mankind can be divided, humankind can be divided into two types, the active criminals and passive criminals. Any day you know that active criminals have a better place in the scheme of things than the passive criminals, because the passive criminals do not accept the fact that they are also criminals. But these criminals thrive on the gullibility and credulity of the people, because we all believe that they are something different from the other criminals.
We hold them special, we admire them.
Because you are made to believe that they are giving something, and so what they are doing is actually giving you some sort of drugs of a different kind. As a matter of fact, the whole culture, especially the Indian culture, I am not saying anything derogatory to the Indian culture. I am an Indian, I can say that. But I don't want to say anything nasty about India, outside of India. I tell those people in India, the whole culture is born out of acid heads. They were drinking what they call soma juice and experienced all kinds of strange experiences, and that they thought that they were all spiritual experiences and passed on from generation to generation. So, in the light of what they have described, with the help of the knowledge that they have given about those states and experiences, we recreate those experiences and we enjoy them and feel that we are spiritually far superior to the rest of the others, who are experiencing everyday experiences, even sensual experiences, and think that they are not really spiritual. And what is so spiritual about those people who are experiencing the same things in exactly the same way? I don't see any difference.
Yes. But well, according to the some authorities on Indian philosophy and old texts,
Yes.
you are supposed to be somebody who fits those texts. You are the crown on those old scriptures that say.
That is what they believe,
Yeah.
and I don't know why they don't have the guts to brush me aside. When I tell some of those holy men in India, very often, even in the top ones, that if that great culture of yours has produced a man like you and me, it's not worth bothering about. Maybe you can sell this shoddy piece of goods outside and fool others, but that has not produced anything here worth talking about. So what about all the other teachers? They ask me this basic question: how can all of them be wrong? I can say that all of them are wrong. The past, the present, and the spiritual teachers had to be born, because I have found out that they were all con men.
How did you find out, actually?
By realizing by myself, of myself, that how I am fooling myself and how they survived on my foolishness. It does not mean that I am far superior to all those people, or that I am an embodiment of all that they have appeared before, or that I am, you see, an efflorescence of all those that existed before me. But somehow, through some strange luck or chance, that I have stumbled upon something which freed me from everything that they talked about. So the certainty, the how means you are asking me a question which does not mean anything. How means you want to know. I myself don't know how it happened to me, so there is no way I can tell you how this has happened to me. If I tell you that this is how it has happened to me, it will be something like what they have been telling you.
Yes.
So then you want to use that knowledge
To imitate
and
that.
reproduce these things in yourself and think that you are getting somewhere.
But still I'm curious, not to imitate you, but something has happened to you which you describe as a calamity.
It has no use for me, because I cannot sell that to anybody and give this to others and thrive upon the gullibility and credulity of people. I don't want to do it, you see, because I knew how they fooled me, so I have no reason to fool others, so it has no use for me. So since it has no use for me, it cannot have any use for mankind. You understand? So I know very well that this is something which cannot be fitted into that framework. As a matter of fact, what I am saying is a threat to you. But you are the product of that.
Why is it a threat to me?
It's because the you as you know yourself, the you as you experience yourself is in jeopardy, is in danger. Because you want somehow to maintain that and keep that going. That's all that it is interested. The very purpose of listening to anything is to use that teaching, knowledge, or whatever you want to call it, and bring about a change in you. What I'm saying is that there is no need for you to listen to anything, because there is nothing there to be changed. Don't say all right, please.
No, I don't say, I said all. I'm not all right.
You cannot say that you understand what I am saying.
No,
that you cannot accept the statement I am making.